Hi, I'm Bill Hart, Superintendent of Everett Public Schools, and I'd like to welcome you to Everett High School. Come in with me.
Well, welcome, Rodney. First guest. The pressure is on.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being here. So I guess we'll just get started. You're Everett, born and raised, right? So why don't we take it back to little Rodney? Just tell me a little bit about growing up in Everett, going through school, and yeah, tell me a story.
Absolutely. No, so like you said, born and raised in Everett. I grew up with my mom and dad on Chelsea Street with my three sisters. First generation, so they all come from El Salvador. And, I was the first one to be born here. And, we just got started with life and stuff like that. So growing up, went through all the Everett public schools, never left. Currently still here as well, still work here. And, try to be involved with the community as much as I could.
And so you said you're first gen immigrant. Well, your parents, you were born here.
Correct.
First gen college student as well?
As well, yes.
Awesome. And how was it? I mean, so I'm first gen as well, also grew up in Everett. Few years before you. I went through the school system, and I know for myself personally it was interesting because we were one of the very few Brazilian families in Everett. So I'm just curious, how was it? How was your experience? Did you have a lot of colleagues that were, or classmates that were El Salvadorian? Was there more of a diversity by the time you were in school?
Yeah, so growing up it was a mix. We know Everett's very diverse. Growing up there wasn't as much, but as I got older and got into the middle school, late middle school and high school, all friends were coming from different areas. A lot of friends as well were first generation. And you kind of had that pressure on you, right? Like, all right, you're the first generation, you're going to start something new. Didn't really know much about college, what to expect from it, how to apply, things like that. But there was a lot of support, which was helpful. And, my dad as well helped me a lot just to find those resources and reach out. And, we were able to succeed at it, But I'd say it was a good pressure to have as well that pushed me to do better.
Yeah, of course, pushing you to do better. I know you were involved in sports. You want to tell us a little bit about, your time playing soccer, being a soccer star for EHS?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I started playing when I was 4. That's when it all started. I remember just being at home, dribbling the ball in the living room, shooting on my little goal, playing with anytime I could see a soccer ball. That was my thing. It was on the playground at school. I was on my first official team at 6, and from then I played on all the way up until high school. So I got to meet a lot of different friends from different schools, different cities, and it was a great experience. Learned so many things like leadership, teamwork, hard work, discipline, all that type of stuff. Once I got to the high school, it's more intense, right? You're playing for your city, you're representing the school, yourself, your family, and there was a lot of support behind it as well. By the time I got there, like I said, it was very diverse, met a lot of friends, and I had a great time. I mean, honestly, representing the school was great. I was part of great teams that made the playoffs. My senior year, I was the captain of the team as well, so that was an honor for me to just be a leader, but also represent the city and create the best images possible. So,
Now, do you have any lessons or anything that you take from that time being a player that you instill today in your players or that you share with them?
there's so much. I mean, as a freshman, my goal was, be as good as possible on that freshman team, but also get to know the older players who had gone through what I had gone through. Make as many connections as possible with the staff, with the coaches, have that relationship. And as I kept going through school, I realized it's very important that you stick to yourself and you have your goals in mind, and my goal was by the time I'm a senior or junior, I want to make sure I'm a starting varsity player as well as a captain because I loved leading, and from a young age, I kind of knew a lot of people sort of went to me for answers or they kind of looked at me as someone who knew a lot of things. So I knew it was in my best interest as well to push myself to get to that level. A lot of my players, I don't like to reminisce too much with them because it's, it's their time now, but I do like to look back from time to time and tell them, we were successful because we did certain things as student athletes. And that's the biggest thing that we push for, making sure that they understand student before the athlete. And you're going to be represented by the way, you show yourself every day. If you want to be a good athlete, you have to be a good student. You got to be a good person. And that's really my biggest goal when I took over this job. I wanted to teach young boys how to become men. That was the biggest thing.
Oh, that sounds so nice. That was great. Did you always want to be a coach or did that just kind of happen naturally along the way?
Honestly, at a young age, I realized I understood the game a lot quicker than my teammates. I wasn't always the most athletic, but I was the hardest worker at all times. I made sure that I could push myself at any point, push my teammates, which was a big thing. As I got into high school, towards the end, I realized I love playing, but for some reason, watching the game, teaching a younger generation how to play was also an interest of mine. So my senior year, I began coaching the little ones, preschoolers, and I had fun with it. And, throughout college as well, I kept coaching. And that's what honestly brought me back to Everett and ended up working there. So it was
coaching first and not teaching.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So did you play in college as well?
No, I wanted to, but, responsibilities, having to work through college, being first generation, you don't really understand what you should be doing in terms of prioritizing your work, school. And obviously academics was my priority. I want to make sure I get that in line. So I focused on that rather than playing. But coaching kept me in the game. And I will say now I do prefer coaching than playing. But I do like kicking the ball around with the players from time to time as well.
Oh, I'm sure.
Can't forget that.
I can absolutely relate. I also didn't play in college, and it's a big regret of mine. But it was same thing. That first generation, there's so much pressure, right? They say they call it the immigrant paradox, right?
Yes.
You're trying to make right by all the sacrifices that your family made for you to be there. So you're trying to be your best, and you just naturally sometimes miss out on some things because you don't know or you don't know to ask the question.
And those are lessons I like to tell my players now, that I unfortunately didn't get to play, and I really regret that, like you said. But there's just so much talent out there that I like to tell them, like, listen, you have the opportunity.
Yeah.
And I would prefer if you didn't follow the path I did, more so if you have the opportunity to play, go for it because we can't go back in time,
No,
so
absolutely.
Those things you want to make sure you embrace.
And they're fortunate to have somebody that can say, hey, like, this is what you do, right? Because I think a lot of times, especially when you think about Everett and a community that's so diverse, you have students, so many students like ourselves, first generation, who are kind of trying to figure things out, and not necessarily just first generation immigrant, like just the first in your family to ever go to college, which comes with so many different, nuances to be able to say, hey, like, it's okay, you can play soccer, you don't have to, go to D1, like, you could still have fun, you can still be competitive, even, at a lower level, which is not really low level because it's really hard.
No, absolutely.
So it's good that they have that, with you. So you started coaching the little ones while you were still in high school, and then you went to college. And where did you go and what did you study?
I went to UMass Boston. Fun fact, out of all the schools I applied to, that was the only school I didn't tour, and I ended up going there.
No way.
And honestly, I'd say it was a blessing because everything I learned, I appreciate, and those experiences were I was able to bring with me and, bring into the students as well at the high school that I'm there. I majored in exercise health science. I got my bachelor's degree in 4 years, and I joined the master's program my junior year. So I ended up completing both degrees in 5 years, which, again, was another blessing that, I got at my time there. So I really enjoyed it.
Go Beacons.
Absolutely.
So fun fact, it was the one school I toured, and I fell in love with the waterfront, and that's why I
oh, it's a great view.
Went there because of the view.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It was great. So then exercise and health science, obviously that's not, how did that lead you into becoming a science teacher?
So when I went to college, I really didn't have an idea, like most first generation, like we spoke about. So as I got in there, I realized whatever you did in high school is not what you're going to do in college. You know, it's a completely different ball game. And I learned over time as I got older as well, you need to have good connections, good experiences, and honestly just build that resume that most people say, right? So going into my senior year, I was able to intern at Harvard with the strength and conditioning staff. So my goal was really to work with athletes, which again, I was already doing coaching, but I wanted to get them physically ready for whatever game they were going for, right? With basketball, football, soccer, whatever it was. So I interned at Harvard for 3 to 4 months, and it was a great experience because it got me out of my comfort zone. It really showed me, like, you're in a 24,000 foot square facility. You need to yell to athletes and make sure they understand what they're doing is going to help their performance on the field, on the court, wherever it is. And it got me out of my shell, and it helped me understand what it takes to be disciplined at that level, consistently perform, but also consistently push yourself, right? Because I think as athletes, we tend to kind of get comfortable a lot of the time because we're already there. We made it. We did what we accomplished. Now what? You know, so I did that. And then for my master's program, I interned at Bentley University. So again, another great academic school. And I was working with the swim and dive and football teams there. Again, getting them ready in the gym. And that strength and conditioning experience was great for me because I learned how to program for athletes, how to communicate with them, but also how to develop relationships. You know, being a young intern with other young athletes, you know, you kind of try to keep that professionalism, and it can be difficult at times. But as long as you know what you're doing and it looks like you know what you're talking about, they trust you, you know, and obviously with time, you know, early mornings, late nights, they get comfortable with you and you grow as a person. So I completed that. After that, I was working as an EKG tech at Whitten here in Everett. And I really enjoyed that because it was a clinical experience. I was working with patients, which is a completely different game than athletes. But it taught you that bedside manner, you know, how to be caring, how to be prompt, how to make sure that if someone's going through a bad time, you're able to speak to them and be honest with them, right? And make sure that they get the treatment they need. And then I moved on to be a personal trainer in Medford at Blink Fitness. And again, that was another experience where I knew I had to apply everything I learned. So while my time at Blink, I got a phone call one day that there was an opening at the school. That there was a science teaching position there, and if I wanted to, you know, if I was interested, I could definitely go for it. And at the time, I had just accepted the junior varsity girls soccer coaching position. So I was already there, and once I got offered that, I was thinking about it and realized, why not go back to the school where I was once at, you know? And
all came full circle.
Honestly, it was probably the biggest blessing I've gotten so far.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really happy.
How was it coming back for the first time as, you know, coach and teacher, just stepping into the hallways that you had been?
I remember the first day I came in, there were so many teachers that were like, what are you doing here? You know, and I was just happy to see them because it had been so long, even though it was so short. And just being in the same building that I was once sitting as a student and learning in, I was able to come back and basically apply everything that I learned the past 5 years since I was there. And my biggest goal, like I said, now that I'm coaching the boys, to teach them, you know, to be from boys to young men, is that I wanted to be that support system that I had but didn't have enough while I was there. You know, and I think being young, fresh out of college, it gave me the opportunity to relate to them as well. And I think that's probably my biggest strength with them as well.
That's awesome. Do you have any teachers that, you know, really inspired you, or like you're inspired by and you apply some of what you saw in their classrooms that you do in your own class today?
Yeah, absolutely. There's teachers that I had even back then that I enjoyed their classes because they were different than the rest. You know, they had their own kind of flavor to their teaching style. I really never thought about going into teaching, but coaching is so similar to it that I kind of thought it was a no-brainer when I did it. The first teacher that comes to mind was Mr. Pedesano. He was my sophomore English teacher, and it was just the energy he brought every morning. I mean, it was just like energetic. He made sure he related to every student. He got us working whenever it was, and even the students that were probably not as engaged, they were still engaged with him because he just had that with him. You know, he brought that energy and he wanted to help you succeed. You know, that was the biggest thing because that's what teachers do. And it was a big influence, you know, along with many others that I could go on and on about. But he was the first one that kind of showed me, hey, it's okay to bring that energy to class. You know, we don't have to always have that inside voice and kind of just mellow it out. You know, we can change it up a bit.
No, absolutely. And those types of teachers really stick with us. So.
Absolutely.
Actually, fun fact, Mr. O is also going to be a guest on this show. So I'm sure he'll be ecstatic to hear that, he inspired you in some way to apply to your own classroom today. But, I think, in your position as a teacher and a coach, like you have such an opportunity to really make an impact on students. And I'm sure that doesn't go unnoticed, but it's like we all think about this one teacher that we had, whether it was kindergarten, second grade or high school, right? That really just one word can make such a difference, right? And really inspire you. And I think also very fortunate that you're able to kind of come full circle and be back in your community and give back to your community, inspire other kids that, you really see yourself in more so than if you were teaching in another school, because you did grow up here and you were part of the schools and you walked those halls. So it's really inspiring. And I'm sure it's a message that's not lost on you every day when you walk through the halls.
Coming back. I mean, I always said it was personal because, again, I know exactly what they're going through. I grew up in the city. I know the good things, the bad things that come with it. I know how difficult it can be to be a high school student, from September all the way to May and June when you're trying to just juggle everything, extracurriculars and all that. So I like to relate to them, understand that, hey, I was there. But also, I was able to push through it, get out of it, get my degree, and come back. So if there is something that I can teach you is how to, finish that job. So I absolutely take it personal. It's something I look forward to every day. Yeah,
and you're really applying, all of that and all of that energy, really. First year as a head coach, you had an amazing season.
Yeah.
And had a first time ever that we had an alumni game, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the alumni game a little bit? I was jealous I couldn't go.
It was a great experience to have. I mean, the season, first time head coach, I honestly didn't think I'd get it this young, but again, I was very fortunate to be in that position to do that. I think the boys definitely enjoyed the season as well, which was my biggest thing. I told them that they helped me get back to having fun being a soccer coach, and being on the field, because I was able to relate to them. I was able to show them what it takes and what happens when you push yourself. We made playoffs, after missing it last year. And again, going back to that alumni game, it was great. We had over 80 alumni ranging from 1997 to 2024, which was last year. And I was just happy that it happened, but more so just proud that people wanted to come back, and there's never been one for soccer, for boys or the girls. And now that I was in a position to be in control of that, I recently graduated as well. There's so many people that I met during my time there, afterwards, that I kept in touch, and even ones that were before my time that I was able to reconnect with. So it was great, having everyone come out. It got recorded, which is on YouTube, which is great. And just seeing everyone just bond, a lot of us hadn't seen each other in 5 years. A lot of them haven't seen each other since they graduated high school.
Yeah.
So having that on a cold, rainy Saturday morning, just to see everyone come out, it was awesome.
Yes, it was freezing that day.
Yeah, it was.
You had that huge turnout with the bad weather, so I can only imagine the next one. Are you planning a next one?
Oh, absolutely. We're going to have a yearly one. We'll make sure we invite everyone back as well, and, we'll eventually get more shirts and get everyone there. And obviously the graduating class of this year, they can come back next year and join in on the fun as well. So
when does preparation start for that?
So, the alumni game was this year. It was kind of last minute, right after the season. Now we've been doing it since the season ended.
Oh, really? You're already working on it?
Oh, yeah. We're connecting with everyone. We're having team bonding events. We're having alumni events to reconnect everyone. And I think it's just a job that never finishes, Like, you can't kind of put it on the break and just say, hey, let's take a break from it, because you just can't stop.
No, that makes sense. That makes total sense. So if somebody saw this today and they're like, oh, my God, I played soccer in 2004, how do they get in touch with you? Do they just email you?
Yeah, school email. I have a coaching Instagram as well that they can reach out to me, on there too. We have a team Instagram that I like to make sure that everyone gets to know about, so we update it regularly. And, just to get in contact with me, I'm easy. I like to make sure to make connections and get everyone involved, because that's what building that community is about.
It really is. It's all about bringing people together. I think we have so much of that in our community, where we have so many people coming back, whether it's working in our schools, whether it's working for the city, whether it's just coming back and doing a camp. Right. Like, we have so much of that. And I feel very fortunate to be back in this community and to have had that as a, growing up, and like see that happening now. I think it's a beautiful thing. And, we're so lucky to have that. Yeah. So is there going to be a girls soccer alumni game?
I've been working with the soccer coach, Coach Pursuti. He was my coach when I was at the high school as well, and I got to coach with him. He actually got me into the high school realm of things. So I've been speaking to him, and I told him, I'm going to do my best to reconnect as well and help him out, because I think every sport should have an alumni game, have them come back, meet the current players, give them advice, be a mentor for them. So we're definitely working on that. Absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
And so what's new, or what are the plans for this year, next season's soccer team?
Yeah, I mean, we had a great season, first year as head coach. We're looking forward to keeping that momentum, but also improving it. I think soccer's been a sport in the city that it's had the talent, it's had coaches that are giving everything they can to it, but it's the consistency of keeping players back, helping them improve off season, which is super important. That we just started our lifts 2 weeks ago. So I'm in the gym with the boys. We're trying to, get better, get stronger, get faster, and just keep that momentum up, making sure I'm keeping them happy as well. Because as we know, if athletes are happy, they're going to give their best. So just maintaining those relationships, working at it, and preparing, for the season. So we're about 200 days away till we start in August, and the countdown's already there. We're looking forward to it.
We're taking it home this year.
Listen, we got it. The work starts now. So as long as we keep that up, we can go as far as we want.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of kids coming back to your team?
We have about 10 returning players. I had 12 seniors this year, so it was a big class. But there's a lot of kids that were even some freshmen that got experience on the team. So getting them comfortable there, and also showing them that, hey, we got to work towards something, And I think the seniors did a very well job as a team, working together and showing them that you can actually succeed if you apply yourself and you trust it.
Do you have any of those seniors going to play somewhere?
We're working on that right now. We're finishing the letters, keeping up in contact with coaches. But I'm on top of them. Like, guys, I don't want you to end up like me and not, getting that experience to play. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them play at the next level.
And so as we're coming to a close here, if you were to give some kind of advice, either for your students, for whoever's watching at home, or maybe somebody who's sitting there and thinking about coming to work in Everett or move to Everett, like, what would you say, just a couple words about, I guess, whatever comes to mind?
So much. Again, for me, it was personal. I had so much success, and I had so many people supporting me in Everett that when I came back, I knew how important it was for the students. And because, they're the next generation, they're the future. Even though I feel so close with them because I'm young as well, you have to show them and kind of guide them what is possible. I think that's something that is very restrictive in Everett sometimes. Personally, coming from me, I didn't know what was out there. I didn't know what college was like. I didn't really feel prepared. But when you get out there, you get thrown into the fire, you kind of have to figure it out, So I would much rather be someone they can go to, ask questions, reach out to, just to say, hey, what did you do? How did you do it? What did you go through, good and bad, to get to where you want it to be? And I don't want to say I have all the answers, but I can tell you how I managed it, and at least give you the tools to go out and do it. That's my biggest thing, because someone gave me the tools, so I got to keep passing it on. That's the next step.
Well, after this, if people watch you, you're going to have all kinds of students knocking at your door being like, oh, Mr. Ron Harden, can I talk to you about college?
Absolutely.
And if you had somebody who's, maybe they're on the fence, maybe they saw a job that they want to apply to in Everett, and they're thinking about working for the district, what would you say to them? I
can say I was welcomed, with open arms by everybody, and I think that happens to everyone there as well. You got to come in with good intentions, good spirit, and you got to want to be able to work. I'm someone that I can't stop, really. I always like to do something. And as long as you have core values like that you want to help out the students, help out yourself as well, because, that's what we're here for as well. You want to improve as a professional. Everett has the resources for that, and it's something that they should definitely consider.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sitting on the purple couch, being, the first one ever.
Thank you. No, I had a great time.
I appreciate all that you said. I can't wait for the next season.
Absolutely.
Please reach out to me if you ever need, ideas about community service.
Absolutely. Oh, I will.
But thank you so much. Again, it was such a pleasure, and I can't wait to see all that you're going to do and all that your kids are going to do. And, I do follow all the accounts.
Awesome.
Of course, it's part of my job. So it's exciting to see where, some of your seniors end up, and hopefully some of them will be playing.
Looking forward to
the college level,
and
kind of following all of that. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to seeing the stands. It's going to be great.
Of course. We'll be there.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bill Hart, Superintendent of Everett Public Schools, and I'd like to welcome you to Everett High School. Come in with me.
Check 1 2 1 2. Check check 1 2 1 2 3. Good.
Good evening and welcome to the Everett School Committee meeting, regular meeting for Monday, May 5th, 2025. The time is 6:37 p.m. Clerk, could you call the roll to determine a quorum?
Student Representative Kelly St. Fort.
Present. Present.
Mr. Almeida Barros. Ms. Babcock. Ms. Barros.
Present.
Ms. Cornelio.
Present.
Ms. Cristiano.
Here.
Mayor DiMaria.
Here.
Mr. D'Onofrio. Ms. Garin.
Present.
Mr. LaMonica. Chairperson Hurley.
Present.
6 members present.
6 members present. We do have a quorum. If everyone can join me in saluting the flag. Before we get to our regularly scheduled business, I would just like to extend the regrets of Ms. Babcock, Mr. Barros, and Mr. LaMonica, who were unable to attend this evening. And I would also like to wish the educators across the district a very happy Teachers Appreciation Week. We are grateful for all that they do each and every single day for the youth of the community. With that, Mr. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Roman numeral 3, reading of the records for Tuesday, April the 29th, 2025.
Make a motion to waive the reading, lay on the table, in favor of election.
Second.
Motion has been made by Mayor DiMaria, seconded by Ms. Cornelio, to waive the reading for the Tuesday, April 29th, 2025 records and place on file. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passed. Mr. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Roman numeral 4, public comment.
Make a motion to open. Public comment. Second.
Motion was made by Ms. Cristiano, seconded by Ms. Barros, to open public comment. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Public comment is open at 6:39 p.m. Seeing no speakers on the list, is there anyone interested in speaking at public comment? Seeing none, we entertain a
I
motion.
make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
Motion has been made by Ms. Barros, seconded by Ms. Cornelio, to close public comment. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Public comment is now closed. Mr. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Roman numeral 5, report of the student representative.
Ms. St. Fort.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Crimson Marching Band is back and is practicing for their upcoming season. Track has a meet today against Somerville, despite this weather. Girls Tennis Senior Night will be held Tuesday, May 13th. Come and show your support. The Wave Club will be going on a field trip to Empowering Teen Voices this Friday, May 9th. Last Thursday, we had a successful senior prom. The prom committee would like to once again thank Mr. Hart for his generous donation. We'd also like to thank Mr. Deliacono for his hard work working with the council. We were immensely grateful. Senior Decisions Day was today, Monday, May 5th. Students came dressed up with their intended future plans, whether that's like a 4-year college, going to the military, or the plenty of other options out there. The Student Advisory Board met today with Ms. Barros to discuss the ongoing project to bring recycling bins into the Everett Public Schools. A budget proposal has been drafted and is being reviewed. That'll be all.
Thank you, Kelly.
Make
Accept
a-
the student representative report and place it on file.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the student representative's report and place on file. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passed. Superintendent, the next order of business.
Roman numeral 6, report of the superintendent. Item number 1 is my update. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this opportunity to address you, and I too, like the chairperson, would like to extend my sincerest thanks for all the dedicated teaching professionals across the district. This does kick off Teacher Appreciation Week, not just here in Everett, but across the Commonwealth. And today, at every school, the administration sent a little gift and some treats for our teachers, and I know each school, along with their PTA, have arranged a number of activities throughout the week recognizing the hard work and dedication of our teachers. So let me echo the chairperson's remarks and thank them from me personally, and I know that the school committee joins me in appreciating the work that they do with our young people each and every day. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and as you may remember, last month we provided you with a couple of items at your desk. We also have a stress ball. Today, our mental health awareness programs across the district are run by our social and emotional team, along with our social workers and guidance counselors. And we, as a reminder to folks, also partner with many organizations to provide additional mental health support for our young people and, quite frankly, our employees. Care Solace, which is our 24/7 mental health and a crisis intervention group for the Everett Public Schools, is available always, as mentioned, and it is free of charge by making a phone call to them or visiting their website at caresolace.com. So again, Mental Health Awareness Month. Many of us wear the bracelets that were provided just to recognize not only the folks who take care of our individuals, but all the individuals that we hope to help with the services we provide, not only here in Everett, but beyond. As Ms. St. Fort mentioned, the senior prom welcomed almost 500 students to the Danvers-Port Yacht Club. Think about 500 young men and women. You couldn't ask for a nicer group of people enjoying themselves. It was remarked to me by the serving staff how nice our folks represent Everett. So Kelly, you and your fellow students do us real proud, and it's noticed by others. So thank you to all of them and all the hard work that goes into a senior prom by the committee, both the student side and employee side, with our senior dean of students, and others who assist and support that work, including our student resource officers who are also in attendance. I think everyone had a good time. Wouldn't you say so, Ms. St. Fort? Yes, great venue. Everett High School last Friday recognized the Excellence and Honor Success Awards given to 15 students, and also is an opportunity for us to recognize our teaching staff, usually nominated by a fellow teacher, on the importance of our teaching here in Everett High School and beyond. We had 4 nominees for different categories. In the excellence category, teacher Miss Sandy Nilsson was awarded. In the honor category, Miss Winter Abood was honored. Also in the honor category was Mr. Michael Munoz, and in the success category, Mr. Corey Chiva. These were all, again, nominated by fellow teachers for their work with our students, and who possess lots of different talents, but specifically named in their nominations by those various categories. We also had a senior pathway luncheon that was held here in the Crimson Cafe at Everett High School. 43 students were honored for completing their pathway course, as well as working their internships with Cambridge Health Alliance, which has an Everett campus here on the hill behind us, the Leonard Florence Center in Chelsea, and Cataldo Ambulance. It's always great to see our young people become trained in the field that they're considering, which is why we call it a pathway to their future. And the amount of energy and compassion and certainly expertise that our outside internship folks provide our students is unparalleled, and I'd like to thank those 3 groups in particular for doing such an amazing job with our students each and every year. So they were honored, and Miss Julianne Whitson, who's our health and wellness coordinator here at the high school, put together that program with faculty. We also honored one of our longtime faculty, Sue Lomas. Many of you may know Sue or have taken a class with Sue. She has just completed, will complete 33 years with the Everett Public Schools, and she really was very pivotal in the development of our health pathways here at the high school. She'll be sorely missed, not only by staff, but certainly the many, many students who actually sent a video tribute to her that was shown that day. A lot of tears were shed at that luncheon. Lovely lady, and we wish her the best in retirement. Tomorrow is the senior banquet. Lots of activities in the month of May for our students celebrating their successes and achievements. And tomorrow is our Career and Technical Education Department's awards ceremony. It's a senior banquet that will be held at 5:30 tomorrow evening. And we will have a guest speaker, which is a keynote address by Lisa Sandler, who many of you have met. She has been, in previous life, the statewide coordinator from CTE, and we're lucky to have her on board supporting our work as we expand the CTE offerings and as we begin to think about our future at Everett High School in particular and beyond. And with Mayor DiMaria's support and energy, we're going to have a very robust CTE program as we think about new space beyond the walls here at Everett High School. The CPAC meeting is coming up. This is, it's already been held. There's another meeting with a group of folks, but not CPAC. That was held at the Madeline English School, and that meeting was about parent rights, so our parents can come, take advantage of information, and it was put on by the Lions Law Group, who support us in all the work with our families across the district. Last but not least, another celebration coming up on May the 22nd is the English Learner Spring Family Night, also going to be held at the Madeline English School at from 4 to 6 p.m. It's open to all families, and the event is free. It's a night to celebrate the work that we do collectively and engage our families in the importance of literacy, working with their own child or children at home, and encouraging reading and talking about what they've read. So these nights have been very well attended. We have books and other things for our students to take home and share with their parents. So try to run down many of the events. I know at all of your places you should have the district highlights of events that have occurred this past week. And we do share a lot of this information with our families across the district, so not just you see this. We email it out usually on Monday morning to our families so that they see the energy and activity and excellence across our district. So with that, Madam Chair and members of the committee, I submit my report. Thank you so much.
Ms. Guerin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry, could you just repeat, there was a CPAC meeting? You said there was another one coming up. Could you just repeat that? I
Yeah, I
kind of
don't know
missed
the
that.
date of it. That's why I kind of stopped short. I know that there's another
okay.
meeting that's in the planning stage, so I jumped the gun on that. I'm really not sure of the date.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, great. And the CTE banquet, you said that's tomorrow night, and that's
Yes.
going to be, is that going to be here?
No, that is at the Kowloon Restaurant.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions?
I just want to
Ms. Barros.
give a shout out to our teachers as well. Appreciate everything they do, and also make a shout out that it's Nurses Appreciation Week as well. I just appreciate all they do for our students.
Thank you
But
very
I-
much.
I'll make a motion to accept the superintendent's report and place on file.
Second.
Motion was made by Ms. Barros, seconded by Mr. Mayor DiMaria to accept the superintendent's report and place on file. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The motion has passed. Mr. Superintendent, the next order of business.
I just want a clarification. The CPAC is this coming Monday night, the 12th. That's what's in plan. We had one, but there's one this coming Monday, May 12th.
This coming Monday.
Yes,
All right, thank you.
I misspoke. I apologize.
Thank you.
Roman numeral 8, items submitted by the school committee members. Madam Chair, there are none. Roman numeral 8, subcommittee reports. Item 1, finance and negotiations on Tuesday, April the 29th, 2025.
Accept the committee report and place on file.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to report the Finance and Negotiations Subcommittee meeting for Tuesday, April 29th. Waive the reading, place on file. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The motion has passed. Mr. Superintendent.
Roman numeral 9 is bills and payroll. This week, we do not have a bills and payroll. There was no committee meeting as we had just come off of our bills and payroll committee from last Tuesday, so there's nothing to report. Item 10, Roman numeral 10 is unfinished business. There is none before you. Roman numeral 11, new business. There is no new business before you. Roman numeral 12, there are no hearings. Roman numeral 13, matters for executive session. There are none. Which brings me to Roman numeral 14, adjournment.
I make a
Move for
motion to
adjournment.
adjourn.
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn our regularly scheduled meeting for Monday, May 5th, 2025. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. We have adjourned at 6:52 p.m. Thank you, everyone.